Alrighty. Alrighty. Bayonetta Part 2. Bayonetta Part 2. I recorded Bayonetta Part 1 earlier today, taking a little nap. But since then, I've been in the Twilight Zone and some crazy shit happened since I recorded Bayonetta 1. It's weird because when I recorded Bayonetta 1, I talked about my history of scamming PayPal. And I was like, I wonder if it was a federal crime. And I looked up and saw that the statute of limitations, if I did commit a federal crime, was like way past. 5 years ago past. So I thought it was good. Then I take a nap, wake up to give my cat my medicine, and I get a text from my mom. She's like, "Are you awake?" It's like, "Yeah, kind of." And then she FaceTimed me. And she told me that she got a phone call from the Monroe County Police Department saying that there's a warrant out for her arrest because she did not testify in a federal crime trial in Indianapolis. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Did I get busted by PayPal? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Did someone watch my video? And I was like, no one watched it because the frame rate was all fucked for the first 10 minutes. It's a slideshow for the first 10 minutes. And like it has 5 views, and I think that was all me like editing it, like clicking on it. I wanted to be Policeman Bayonetta. I bought her in the Bayonetta store on my other Bayonetta save. I thought it would be appropriate for this story time, but apparently it only saves in the file that you completed. It doesn't unlock it for the whole game for new save files. So I'm just going to play as a different character, Janine. I picked the wrong Bayonetta police costume anyway. I wanted the blue costume, but I picked the black. It cost me 100,000 rings. Can't be Nintendo characters unless you buy a fucking amiibo for this Bayonetta. So I'll just be a different character to add a little something to the mix. I can switch back to Bayonetta anytime I want, so just for the sake of the video, I'll be a different character. Yeah, I fixed the frame rate issue. I had my settings for, I don't know, the past dozen videos on 1080p, 60 frames a second. Had no problems. I mean, there's a little bit of stuttering, but I noticed a lot of stuttering on last night's recording of the beat 'em up games. And then when I recorded Bayonetta 1 today, it stuttered for the first 10 minutes. So I was like, I gotta fix this. I gotta figure out how to fix this. So I think I started trying to fix everything around 8:30 maybe, and it's midnight now. I I fixed the frame rate stuff in probably 45 minutes. No, maybe a little longer. A lot of Googling, and every suggestion they made was wrong. It just made my computer slow down, and the app slow down. So I deleted and reinstalled the app, and I'll get to the story about my mom with the federal government in a second. But yeah, I deleted and reinstalled the app, but then when I reinstalled it, it just had all the same settings. It didn't change the settings. So I had to clear the cache. Clear the cache. I think I might make a video on how to do all this shit because people need to know this because everything else is wrong that is on YouTube for how to fix it. When I cleared the cache, it worked again, but it was at 720p, 30 frames a second. So I changed it back to 1080p, 60 frames a second, and started stuttering again. And it wasn't the 1080p, it's the 60 frames per second. For some reason, it no longer wants to read 60 frames per second on my streaming device. It just doesn't. It says I'm not going to read 60 frames per second. Supposedly Bayonetta 2 on the Switch 2 is 60 frames per second, but I also have the enable 120 frames per second. That might have, if I would have changed that, that might have fixed it. I don't know. But I'm just filming at 30 frames per second. What difference does it make? 60 frames per second is for playing the games. It makes the input lag go away and more responsive controls. Most movies are at 24 frames per second. So if you're watching something, you're used to watching it at 24 frames per second. So as long as it's in 1080p, whatever. I can do 30 frames per second. I'm not worried about that. I noticed some stuttering sporadically in my past few videos. It would stutter sometimes. But hopefully this will get rid of all stutter because the stuttering had gotten just completely out of control. Ruined my Bayonetta 1 video. But for some reason I still thought somebody watched it because my mom got a call that she had a warrant out for her arrest for the federal government for not testifying in a federal trial. So she starts with a story. The police officer on the phone tells her that she has to pay a surety bond of $15,000 or $1,500, or she'll go to jail. They'll come pick her up and go to jail. So there's a gag order. Don't tell anybody about this. It's a federal trial. There's a gag order on it. If you call your lawyer, we're not going to let you get this surety bond. We're just going to arrest you. We're coming to your house to arrest you right away if you say, I need a lawyer. You just cooperate with us. We'll let you pay this surety bond. And you won't go to jail. Then my gears start turning in my head, and I'm like, was this all fake? Is this a scam? She's like, I'll get to that. So she starts going all over town, different ATMs. They won't let her withdraw $1,500. So she tells the guy she can't get $1,500. She can get $750. And he's like, all right, we'll let you do it for $750. Go to Walmart and wire the money. So she went to Walmart to wire the money. And the lady who's in charge of wiring money was like, did someone text you this? Like they texted some barcode for her to wire the money to. She's like, oh no, because she thought she was under the gag order, so she couldn't say anything. So the lady was like, she knew something was up. She was like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I can't do this. And then I think my mom went to Family Dollar and CVS. She wasn't able to wire the money. And she said she spoke to like 3 different police officers, all with like Midwest accents. They sounded legit, but little things were like telling her it might not be legit. He'd be like, you have 5 minutes to go to Walmart. And she's like, I'm on 2nd Street. I can't get there in that amount of time. And he was like, what's 2nd Street? He like didn't know what she was talking about. He didn't know the city of Bloomington. So she was like, I'm going to put you on hold for a second. And she calls the Indiana State Police. She says, do I have a warrant out for my arrest? And immediately the state police was like, this is a scam. Don't give these people any money. They're scamming you. So it was a fucking scam. And she spent, like, I texted her around 4:30 to show her my new avocado toast seasoning. And she didn't respond. And I was like, that's strange. We're both like really into avocado toast right now. Why would she not respond to my avocado toast text? So I was really tired and I took a nap. But then when I woke up, she told me what happened. And that's why she didn't respond to my avocado toast test, because she was under the gag order, supposedly. But it was all a scam. So watch out, you know. I mean, she feels really stupid about it and stuff like that, but she's never been arrested before. She doesn't know about G code, that you don't say a fucking thing to the fucking pigs. You hang up on them, say, talk to my lawyer, you hang up on them right away. Don't say a fucking thing. Like you're Don Corleone. But she was in law enforcement. She tries to cooperate with law enforcement. When you say federal charges and shit like that, that's when they just scared the shit out of her. She's never been to jail before. She doesn't, they scared the shit out of my 64-year-old mom. And it wasn't like some Indian call center. It was American scammers with Midwestern accents. So maybe it was like some hackers, It sounds like, old school hacking, social engineering. And they had some of her information. They called her by her name she had when she was married to my stepdad. So they had some like old information, and her AT&T account is under her old last name of my stepdad. So I think someone data mined her AT&T account info off the dark web. Got her phone number and her information that way. But there was at least 3 people involved, and it was very they convinced her. She felt really dumb. But I told her, you remember a couple of years ago when I sent a picture of my penis to a Nigerian scammer? Sometimes our brains aren't working in that day. Like, I still can't tell you what made me think, oh, I'm going to send a picture of my penis to a woman who just texted me on Instagram a picture of her in a thong, and she was like, send me a picture of your penis right now, send the picture right now. And then I get a text and I see a Nigerian hand holding up a phone of my picture of my penis, and they send it to a group text. they put it in like a group text of a bunch of my friends and my mom and my sister, and they're like, well, if you don't give us this amount of money, we're gonna send this picture right away. I ended up sending them like $100. They wanted like $700 or something. And then my mom, I told her about it, and she told them that she was a law enforcement officer and she was going to um, get them arrested in Nigeria, because I think they do arrest the Nigerian scammers. They extradite them to the United States. There is an extradition process because of they just have like organized scamming where they butt shot, where it's just such a problem that they're extraditing. I read about some like high school kid that killed himself when the Nigerian scammers had a picture of his penis. So it's serious shit. So I was just trying to tell my mom, like, sometimes we get scammed, but the thing about it is, once you get scammed, you're never going to get scammed again. You win some, you lose some in life. No matter who you are, we're going to get scammed at one time or another. But it's just, what a strange coincidence that I spent my whole Bayonetta one choppy ass Let's Play video that I made today talking about federal crimes that I may or may not have committed, and the statute of limitations on that, etc. And then my mom gets a call that she was supposed to testify in a federal trial. That's just some weird shit. Life is weird. Life is really strange sometimes. The coincidences and shit. It's the Matrix. It was just some Twilight Zone shit happened today. I'm just glad my mom didn't lose any money. The police told them that a woman they had just talked to fell for that scam and wired someone $15,000. And when you wire someone money, you can't get that money back. It's gone. So I told my mom, well, it's a good thing you bought all those American Girl dolls. It's a good thing you spent your $20,000 pension fund on American Girl dolls, and God knows how much more money you've spent on American Girl dolls. She has no savings. She spends it all on American Girl dolls. So if they held her ransom for American Girl dolls, she might have been able to help these people out with scamming her, but she would have had to like take a cash advance off her credit card and all this kind of shit. So luckily, she just wasn't able to get a hold of the funds before she finally figured out what happened. But I feel bad for her. She's been through a lot today. And I already stressed her out last night. I feel bad about it. I won't get into that, but for legal reasons. But I've been taking too much from her, let's say. Not stealing. I'm just saying that there's legal reasons why I can't say what went on, but I didn't steal from her or anything. I didn't betray her. But let's just say I've been taking too much for her, including money too. She's been letting me borrow a bunch of money, and I owe money to like the paying for programs. So I haven't been able to pay her back. So maybe it was just a karmic lesson, um, to stop taking from my mom so much, from me, and maybe I shouldn't talk about ripping off PayPal on my YouTube channel, but fuck you, PayPal. Fuck off. Come get me, PayPal. Come get me. Come get me, you motherfuckers. But yeah, it's just what a weird day. Try to just enjoy filming some Bayonetta. Been waiting to film Bayonetta ever since I made this diabolical plan to buy every Bayonetta physical edition. My Bayonetta 1 physical edition should be here tomorrow. I haven't left positive feedback yet because I haven't tested out my Bayonetta 3 yet. But this is my Bayonetta 2. The cart looks clean. There's no rust on it. And it's playing great, so I think after this, I finish this playthrough, I'm gonna leave a good some good feedback on the person that sold me this one, because it was the fastest shipping that I've ever seen on eBay, because I ordered it on a weekend, like in the early AM on Friday morning, or late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and he had it shipped out by Saturday afternoon. And he mostly sells Pokemon repro carts for the Nintendo DS. So I was afraid that my Bayonetta was a repro cart, but he clearly marked on his on the listings for the Pokemon repro carts, RP cart, repro cart. But upon doing a little research and shit like that, there's no bootleg Switch games. The Bayonetta 2 with the Bayonetta 1 download code, it came out way back in 2018, and it is the most sought after expensive form of Bayonetta 1 and 2. I mean, it's the same price as buying Bayonetta 1 and 2 physically on their own, so it's not like super valuable, but I mean, you can't fake a download code and shit like that, so I was just getting paranoid. But he sold like at least 40 of those Pokemon repro carts, and someone marked fake cart and gave him a bad fake game and gave him a bad feedback. But it clearly said on his listings, RP cart, repro cart. If you buy a Pokemon game for the DS or the Game Boy, you're probably buying a repro cart. There's probably 10 times as many repro carts of Pokemon handheld games as there are of actual Pokemon handheld games. I'll never understand Pokemon. I'll never understand the value of Pokemon. I'm just a little bit too old for that shit. I know that Jake Paul guy, or Logan Paul, had like a $10 million Pokemon card or some shit he wore around his neck, and then he had it in like a display case and someone purposely damaged it. I thought that was kind of funny. But You know, I understand collector's items. I have several myself. But a fucking Pokemon card for millions of dollars? That's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever heard in my life. Literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Of all the shit that people can spend money on, why the fuck would you spend millions of dollars on a Pokemon card? I own a copy of Snatcher on the Sega CD. Um, I guess that's my most valuable bullshit item that I own, but it's not worth that much. And I actually have played it before. I actually own a Sega CD and played it because it was the only way to play it for a while. Now I can just play it on my EverDrive or my Steam Deck. I guess at the time that I bought it, which was like, I don't know, 2012, 13 years ago. I don't even think I had a computer back then. So I was going to say maybe I could have like downloaded a emulator and played it on a computer, but I don't even think I had a computer back then. I just had an iPad. So that was the only way that I could play Snatcher at the time. No, I had a computer because I burned a CDR of Snatcher. So I did waste my money. I had a burned CDR copy of Snatcher that I could have played through Snatcher on. But I just got my college tuition refund check because I'd aged out of it. I had something called Florida prepaid college tuition that my parents had been paying since I was a kid. And when you turn 28, you got to cash that shit out. You're not going to college anymore now that you're 28. I know a lot of 28-year-olds like say to themselves, "I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go back to college," but that's just something you say when you're 28. You don't really do it. You quickly turn 30 and give up on life. But yeah, I bought some good shit with that tuition money. Leather jacket, PS3 for Kai Whalen, copy of Snatcher on the Sega CD. So, you know, fuck college. I got Snatcher on the Sega CD. But that's the closest thing I have to $1 million Pokemon card, I guess. But if you try to come in my house and steal my Snatcher, I'll fucking kill you. Okay? Someone's watching this and thinking about coming into my fucking house and stealing my copy of Snatcher of the Sega CD. I hope it's worth your life. I really hope it's worth your life because I'll fucking kill you if you try to steal my Snatcher for the Sega CD. That's that's called Castle Law or something like that. Castle Doctrine. You come into someone's house and try to steal their shit, they can kill you. Echo, does Indiana have Castle Doctrine?
Yes. castle doctrine that became law in 1977 and was strengthened in 2006. This law allows residents to defend themselves on their property using reasonable force, including deadly force if necessary, without a duty to retreat first. The use of force must be proportional to the threat and is justified when there's a reasonable belief that it's necessary to prevent serious harm or a forcible felony.
So yeah, I can use deadly force if it's reasonable to prevent a forcible felony, and stealing my copy of Snatcher from the Sega CD would be grand theft and burglary, both felonies. So don't think about stealing my Snatcher from the Sega CD. I'm a fucking impoverished schizophrenic on disability. I don't have a lot of luxuries or whatever in life. So don't try to steal my precious Snatcher for the Sega CD. I'm really jumpy right now because of the scam they tried to pull on my mom. Feel bad for my mom right now. This is going to make me turn a new leaf on using my mom's Kroger card, borrowing things from my mom, borrowing money from my mom, asking her to pay for my vet bills, and then reimbursing her when I get the insurance payout. I've figured out a plan for that. I'll just use my pay in four credit card, and wow, those graphics look fucking stunning. Look at the color. I got it in RGB, so yeah, I'll pay off my mom. You pay off the pay in four every 2 weeks. So I'll pay the first installment of the pay in four. And then when I get the insurance payout, I'll pay the whole remaining balance of the pay in four all at once, so I won't get stuck in a pay in four hole again. That's how I'm going to pay for my cat's medicine from now on. No more borrowing money from my mom. I'm not going to ask my mom for shit anymore. This whole situation sent me into a borrowing from my mom rock bottom. Once I pay off these pay in fours next month, I guess in January I'll be completely paid off, but I'll be pretty much mostly paid off in December. I won't owe them more than like $40 in January. So once I pay that shit off, I'm gonna start paying my mom every month until I feel like I've fully paid her back. And I told her as well, if I get my $2,000 Trump check, which I'm not counting on it, trust me, I'm not counting on that. But if somehow that it really is real, I'm going to give the whole fucking thing to my mom. Because I mean, I borrow money from my mom way too much. And I pay it back as much as I can, but like for instance, I had to my cat's insurance like restarted for the year. So I owe her $500 for the money that the insurance didn't cover for taking my cat to the vet. It's like a total of $1,000 to take my cat to the vet, and I was only able to pay her back $500 so far. So I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I use her Kroger card all the time. I've become dependent on the kindness of my mom, and I know she'd give me the shirt off her back, but that's no excuse to take the shirt off her back. And seeing these fucking scammers rip her off today, hearing about that, seeing the look on her face, and the stress it put her through, I'm just made me hit rock bottom, broke my heart. So, turning over a new leaf. Everything happens for a reason. You know? Maybe just the eerie similarities with what I discussed in my past Bayonetta stream from earlier today. I did talk about God quite a bit in that last Bayonetta stream from earlier today. So maybe this is just God's way of showing it to me. You know, this is... when weird coincidences like that started showing up in my life, I feel like they started happening around 2004 in my life. And that was the same year I had my first psychotic break. Just too many coincidences. You know, you think of a word and you hear it on TV at the same exact time. I was just overloaded with that shit in my life. But I was becoming more spiritual at the time. And I guess that's just what happens when you have a spiritual awakening. When you start breaking through the matrix. And I'm used to it by now. I'm not scared of it anymore. But I don't take it for granted either. I'm not going to take this weird coincidence for granted. I need to stop scamming PayPal. I need to stop scamming my mom. I need to stop scamming altogether. Scammers are bad people. Well, Bayonetta, when it's not on automatic mode, is much harder than Bayonetta on automatic mode. This is a very challenging game, and I just have it on normal mode. But this character, I think, while she has a more powerful witch time, it's more difficult for her to go into witch time. I think this battle requires a lot of witch time. I've been neglecting witch time in this battle, so... This is quite a battle. Okay, now I see the guy's life bar at the bottom. I'm paying attention to this now because Before in Bayonetta, I just mindlessly button mashed in the automatic mode, but now I'm actually playing a video game here. I don't think I'm gonna beat it though. I don't think I'm gonna beat this guy. Might be the time to end this playthrough if I don't beat this guy, because I don't want to keep getting stuck in the same spot. Barely have any life left. Fuck yeah, I beat him. Never give up. Look at those beautiful graphics. The color of that creature, it's just so many different colors. I love the look of Bayonetta 2. I like it better than Bayonetta 1 and 3. I think Bayonetta 2 is the best looking Bayonetta. But I don't like the little short character that you meet up with later in the game. I really, really hate that character. So that's, I guess, the only thing that ruins Bayonetta 2 for me is that little short guy, baggy pants character. I really hate him. I don't like this guy too much either. But the short, baggy pants character of Bayonetta, I love that graphic right there. It almost ruins Bayonetta 2 for me, but that's all I could think about when I was thinking about playing Bayonetta 2 today. I was just like, oh, I have to see that short, baggy pants character. But I don't think he comes in until later in the game, so I'm enjoying it right now. Enjoying it quite a bit. It's a lot more action-packed compared to Bayonetta 1. Playing it one after another. They really went all out on this one. Bayonetta 3. Not so much. I don't know how I feel about Bayonetta 3 right now. Not as colorful. Not as much wow factor as Bayonetta 2. I think they just kind of pushed it out. And because people were really asking for it, they really wanted Bayonetta 3. They couldn't even get the voice of Bayonetta. They had to get a new voice. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with tomorrow's Let's Play of Bayonetta 3 if I change my mind. I've barely played it at all since I rented it from the library. I'm returning it tomorrow to the library, so some other nerd can enjoy Bayonetta 3 because I have my own Bayonetta 3 now. Yeah, I gotta go to CVS tomorrow. I guess that's the only good thing about being a client of CVS Pharmacy, is that it's real close to the library, and I have an excuse to go to the library. Because usually I only go to Kroger or my mom's house. But having to go to CVS, having no other choice but to have to go to the CVS pharmacy on Kirkwood. I am, I have no other choice but to go to the library. And I love going to the library. I just think I'm a little bit agoraphobic. And if I didn't have to go pick up medicine, I, I, I wouldn't go anywhere. If I didn't have to go pick up groceries, I wouldn't go anywhere. If I didn't have to help my mom clean her house, I wouldn't go anywhere. So yeah, I'm going to the library tomorrow. Will I make a video what I got at the library today? No, I won't. I feel like I made some great what I got at the library today videos. And I don't want to force it. I was really inspired to make those videos. I had a creative drive, lots of ideas popping into my head for making those what I got at the library today videos while it lasted. I guess I haven't made one in over a year. But I'm just, my library time is my private time right now. I don't like to go in with an agenda. I'd like to go in, get my video games, get my DVDs, get my Blu-rays, because they have Blu-rays now, and have a little wow, this that is a great graphic right there. Yeah, I haven't played through all of Bayonetta 2 on the Switch 2. I mostly played through it on the Switch 1, so I haven't been able to enjoy these glorious graphics. It's great frame rate that you can't really notice because now my videos are in 30 frames per second, but it really looks great at 60 frames per second on the Switch 2. Bayonetta 3 on the Switch 1 plays like shit. It's so stuttery. And I remember when I first got my Switch 2 and I played Bayonetta 3 on the Switch 2 for the first time, I was like, wow, I love the Switch 2. And that hasn't changed. I love the Switch 2. I love the Steam Deck too. Not loving the PlayStation 5 anymore. Old news. I'll dust it off for Grand Theft Auto 6, but I'm thinking PlayStation 6 will be out within months of Grand Theft Auto 6, and then I'll be playing Grand Theft Auto 6 on the PlayStation 6. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is only going to play at 30 frames per second on the base model PlayStation 5. I think they're trying to make it into 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 Pro. But I will never buy a PlayStation 5 Pro, I can promise you that much. Because it's not much better than the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 4 Pro was a vast improvement. Wow, those graphics look fucking stunning. But I need to buy the PlayStation 4 Pro. The PlayStation 5 is a PlayStation 4 Pro, so I got to experience the PlayStation 4 Pro with my PlayStation 5, so I'll enjoy my PlayStation 5 Pro with my PlayStation 5 6. The only thing that I may have bought a PlayStation 4 Pro if it had a 4K Blu-ray player, but it did not have a 4K Blu-ray player, which I think is total bullshit because it was in 4K. Why just come with a regular 4K or a regular Blu-ray player? Why not have, if you have a 4K capable system, why not tack on a 4K Blu-ray player? But at this point, the 4K Blu-ray player on the PlayStation 5 is totally obsolete. It doesn't have Dolby Vision, doesn't have HDR10 plus. It just has HDR10. So I got my copy of um, the Toxic Avenger remake on 4K Blu-ray, and I was like, why does this look worse than the streaming? I'm used to 4K Blu-rays looking better than streaming. Um, it's because it's only an HDR10. It's not an HDR10 plus. So hopefully, the PlayStation 6 4K Blu-ray player, if it even has one, they might go all digital. They probably will. I mean, it seems ridiculous to me that they're still using a format of optical discs to play video games in 2025. Switch 2 doesn't use optical discs. It uses little tiny cards that fit perfectly into my little tiny Switch card pocketbook that I love so much. $12 on Amazon. Pick one up. It's an officially licensed product by Nintendo. You can't get a officially licensed product for $12 from Nintendo anymore, except for this little Nintendo Switch Pocketbook, which I quickly filled that thing up, man. I only got one row left to fill it up, and then I gotta buy a new one. I love collecting Switch games. Now I have my row of Bayonetta. And that makes me feel great inside. Got my Retro Realms, Evil Dead, and Halloween game for $10. I need to buy more $10 Switch games. I need to go to this place, Game World. It's a local video game store, and see if I can find some real cheap Switch games, because I just want to fill up my little pocketbook. But it feels good to have Bayonetta. A row of Bayonetta. Let me see how long I've been recording for, because I gotta pee, and if it's bordering on an hour, it might be time to stop this recording. Yeah, it's 54 minutes. It's time to go. Don't fall for scams. Stop borrowing money from your mom. Try to be a good person. That's what I learned today. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye-bye.